Right. And that was actually what I was going to ask you, because that 84% stat you told me the other day, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I think it's a perfect segue into home lending pal. How do you combat that problem, or how do you make it easier for the average person to buy a home, and to quote unquote live that American dream house with the picket fence and stuff?
So you look at data empowerment, which is basically that you control your data, and then data democratization, which is you can make a decision without needing an expert to tell you what to do. So in essence, what we're doing is we're collecting the underwriting data that is necessary from a lender, their guidelines, and the underwriting information that is necessary from you as a borrower. Your financial, your credit score, et cetera. Then of course, documents you upload with your taxes and everything. And we are hiding your age, sex, and race, and just allowing the lender, creating this double blind review, financial review scenario where I'm able to review your finances without you disclosing that information. And that in itself should give you a better chance of becoming the homeowner. Because if I look good on paper, once I disclose who I am, you can't say, oh, well, no, my bad, we messed up on that. No, you're not qualified. Because if that starts happening, we'll have, with the whole purpose of blockchain is that it's an immutable ledger. We'll see that it's happening, but we'll have an audit trail that shows that that's happening. And
Right.
that's something that we need to address. Or maybe it is true. Maybe we don't have the credit score, but we'll have an audit trail that shows that that is the case, and then a way to understand how to fix that or address that problem. But more importantly, it's happening without putting the borrower into a position where they're forced to buy. If you think about it now, a home is the biggest purchase that you'll ever make, but yet everyone in the process is incentivized to sell. And that's not to say they're good or bad people because they're incentivized to sell. That just means that it doesn't benefit the borrower when I can't get information that is just solely that's personalized without me having to actually submit an application when I know I'm not ready. So you have to make it where people feel comfortable getting into the process without feeling like they're forced to interact with the human. So that's our biggest thing, is that human interaction isn't required from day one. When you're ready, when you feel like you're ready, our system will show you that, and then you can select which lenders you feel like you have the best opportunity to move forward with.
Yeah, and that's the thing I like too about your ideas, that you're following the trend of so I'm in sales, and a lot of the products that I've sold, I'm dealing with a more educated potential customer or prospective customer, right? They're doing their own research. They're just talking to the rep to see if they can get a deal or whatnot, right? So I definitely love how your idea falls in that same vein, because doesn't it do, I think it's people start preparing to buy a house, 6 months before they do it, or a year or something like that?
It's usually six. Serious people are usually 6 months out when they start looking at their stuff, but people typically start thinking, I want to become a homeowner 2 years out, typically. And the beauty of our platform is that if you're ready to buy now, the focus is on reducing the friction again, making it where you can go through the underwriting process with hopefully as little friction as possible.
Yeah.
But, if you're unqualified, where that there's stuff that you need to work on, our system, our artificial intelligence isn't making a lending decision. It is identifying that information and giving you a personalized roadmap where you can interact with it, so that you can become ready. And our ultimate goal is to have it to be something like, I'm a big Iron Man fan. So like Jarvis, or even, something simpler like Siri or Alexa, where you're able to interact. And that's why I called it Home Lending Pal, because, with your pal, it's like a friend, it's someone that you feel like, hey, I can tell you this in confidence and not be embarrassed. Most people are so embarrassed to think that, hey, I can go buy this $500,000 home. You go through the process and, hey, you barely qualify for a $250,000 home. That's
Yeah.
embarrassing, especially considering that most people are referred to friends of the family, or if your dad or your brother went, or any family member was able to successfully get a home, they're like, hey, I got somebody that will work with you. And now you're working with that person. That person thinks so highly of you that, oh yeah, this person, Bryan's going to be good. Bryan can go afford a $1 million, $2 million house because he's raised finance, because he's raised money. But the thing they don't know is that, Bryan went and put so much money into his company that, his debt to income ratio isn't where it needs to be, or his credit score isn't where it needs to be. So Bryan can't afford a $2 million house. All Bryan can afford is a $400,000 house or a $200,000 house. And for many people, that is embarrassing. And, so we're trying to avoid that scenario while also showing more about the hidden costs that go along with being a homeowner.
Got it.